In this video, I'm going to go ahead and document some of the different processes and things that go through my mind because in the mornings, I like to wake up and really just reflect on what I'm doing now and where I'd like to be. Okay. Now, these are some things that I've realized over time that there is always something that can be done that can change our current state. Things do not have to stay the same, and ideally, they're not staying the same, because if you are staying exactly the same, eventually you will decay. You will get worse. That's true if you're an athlete. Like, if you do not keep getting better and you're the best, you're going to go ahead and fall off your game. You're going to become number 2, 3, 4, number 5 in life if you don't continue to take care of your body and you just stop working out, you stop eating healthy, and you try to stay the same. You will be in worse shape. So it's the same thing in every single area of your life. If you're not working to build something, you're slowly destroying it. And this is something that was hard for me to maybe believe at first when I first heard it. But then after reflecting, I realized this is actually true. If it's not growing, it truly is dying. So when I go ahead and think about things that I want to change in my life, I think about what is the current state? What is happening right now? And is it in alignment with what I want? Is it in alignment with how I want things to be? And that's the first thing about changing anything, is just really pointing out the areas that are not what you want. So many of us go on autopilot, and day after day looks the same. It feels the same. The same problems keep popping up every week, every month, every year. And, what I found is a really useful drill is literally just go ahead and grab a little notebook and write down what's going on now, exactly as it is, what's not working, right? Or what do we want changed? And then what's the ideal scene, the current state, and the ideal state. Okay, what do we want to work towards? Now, what I realized is that as you think about where you want to go, automatically our mind will go ahead and print barriers. It will print reasons and ideas for this not to work. And it's actually not something where it's like you being confident or not confident. It's just the natural mechanism of a mind. Like, if you go ahead and want to change something, it will print reasons like you don't have the time, maybe you're not good enough, maybe you don't have the money, maybe you don't have the authority, you don't have the background, you don't have the credentials, whatever it is. It will print these reasons, and those reasons will build up, turns into maybe anxiety, it turns into something, but what it leads to is a state of confusion, a state of, fear, anxiety, and it stops us from taking action. And that is one thing that is required to move to that ideal state, is that period where you are taking relentless action. But along with that, we need to go ahead and understand that actions are why we have what we have. It's not because of your background. It's not because of where you were born. It's not because of your family. It's something that you are doing, actions that are putting you in the exact spot that you deserve to be. That's right, deserve to be. And that's the hard part to take in, is like, whenever I don't like something in my life, I'm like, damn, like, I'm really doing this to myself right now. Like, this is me. This is my fault. This is my responsibility. It is like this because I messed up in some way, shape, or form. Now, sometimes we do actions that are based off of beliefs, and we're kind of on autopilot, like a robot, right? It's just internal. For me, something is, I am not the most organized person in the world. Sometimes I go ahead and leave things around. I'll go ahead and start something, and then, I'll want to start something else. I love creating things, right? So other beliefs could just be like, hey, you can never do this. You're never going to get in shape. You're never going to be able to make a lot of money. You're never going to be smart enough. Whatever it is, you have those internal beliefs as well. So in terms of eventually having something, okay, it is something where I realized this little trick. Whether you believe it's true or you believe it's not true. You believe it's possible or it's not possible. Either way, if you act and do and be the person that has what you want, you will eventually get it. You'll eventually get it, right? So you take on the beingness. So for example, if I wanted to say I was overweight, right? I'm overweight. I am addicted to food. And I've gone through periods where, believe it or not, I've been addicted to food. I've had periods in my life where I've gained 20, 30 pounds in literally a 2-week period because I would starve myself. I was an athlete. I was a D1 athlete. I was a wrestler, and I was addicted to food at one point because I just didn't go about the dieting the right way or the wrong way. But either way, I would get really, really pretty big, right? And put on 20, 30 pounds in 2-3 weeks. So like, yeah, it wasn't healthy. Okay. And basically what I'm saying is this: if you believe you can never look how you want to look, that's fine. But if you do the right things and you just act like a person that's healthy, meaning you eat the right foods, you wake up and you're active, you take a walk, you work out daily, you go ahead and stop eating after 5, 6 p.m., you go ahead and start doing those actions and you start acting like a person that's healthy. Guess what? After 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you eventually become healthy, right? So these beliefs are something that can be difficult. Another thing that's worked really well for me is just writing down exactly what I want to be, and then really lining up actions and writing them down of what I have to do. And then eventually, after you do that over and over and over again, you will have what you want. So opportunity. So we all have the opportunity to do this, to change our current state and eventually put ourselves in the situation that is closer to our ideal state. Now, this is a double-edged sword because it's not just about getting to this next state and then everything's all right. Here's what I realized is once you get to the next state, the ideal next goal, whatever that is for you, could be going from, being locked up in a job or a career that has you capped off at, a certain amount yearly, right? It could be adding additional income. It could be improving a relationship. It could be this or that. What I realized is it is a never ending cycle of progression. Like once you get to that next state, if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy then. And there's going to be another state that you want to get to. So the thing that you really want to eventually learn to do is just love this process right here and enjoy the process. But also make sure that you're chasing ideal states that are truly what you want, because we do have beliefs and considerations imprinted on us from our upbringing, from the people around us. A lot of it, circle of influence, right? Of past and present. Who is around you? Because sometimes some of us make goals or ideas that are literally based off of someone. It could be social media, it could be someone next to us, it could be our friends, and you're really chasing things that are not even important to you. I'm talking about to you. So there's this activity or action that I did where I literally wrote down all the beliefs that I had at one point, and I asked myself, like, I believe this, but why do I believe it? Who did I start believing this from? Where did I pick up this thought? And I realized that a lot of things I was doing was based off of, systems or beliefs of people that didn't necessarily have what I want. So at the end of the day, this process right here, it is a thing that you will keep refining, and ultimately it's something that will require you to pick up new skill sets, new information, new knowledge. It doesn't matter the area. It could be relationships. You need certain skills to communicate to, whoever you're with, right? It could be your work. You need new skill sets to go ahead and get better so you deserve to get paid more. It could be in terms of, working out, right? You have to pick up new skill sets of like how to actually go ahead and properly lift at the gym. And guess what? Once you go ahead and work on all this stuff, you have all of the barriers that you can see right now, right? And those are the ones Okay, good. But once you go ahead and start going through this process, expect to have other barriers pop up that you you can't see. They pop up after the fact. It's outside of your scope of awareness. And just knowing that those will exist and not letting those fluster you is a part of the game, because we go through life and, you know, we have the things we know are problems, but then you go ahead and you go through along the process, or maybe you meet someone that's already where you're at and you're like, damn, so what's your experience with it? What are some of the things that, you know, you work on? What are some things that have challenged you at the current state you're on now? And they list out a whole nother things that you're like, hey, I didn't even think about that. But just know that's a part of the game of evolving and adapting and learning. And I think that's pretty much my video for the day. So if you like this, go ahead and like the video, subscribe. I'll be doing more of these. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.